All right. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. It is time. It is time. It is time for me to do another webinar here in the BMWOC, the Businessmen and Women of Color podcast group. And today we're going to be talking about marketing strategy. So I'm going to give it a few minutes for people to be able to jump on and take part of this webinar. And I'm also going to take a minute to invite some people also who I think that would really love to be part of this video and to learn something new about developing a marketing plan or a marketing, might as well marketing plan if I can get the words out, right? So that's what we're going to do. So let me go ahead and invite some people who will love to be on this this webinar here. So let's see. Let's see here. Let's see here. Here. Let's go and invite some people. So I'm going to invite. I have so many friends in here. I'm going to invite some folks. Let's see here. Just a couple more people here, and then we're going to get done. Hey, Ernest, how you doing? Hey there, Miss Peltzer. I see you was out there doing your thing. Okay, I'm sitting here inviting a whole bunch of people. I didn't even see the names until I got on here. So I'm going to be adjusting my screen so that I can see my PowerPoint, and we're going to be really I'm going to be going through some of the key points here that you're going to really need to know. So hopefully you guys will enjoy this webinar, because basically this is really going to be about if you have a small business and you need to have a marketing plan, which is the number one thing that you have to have in addition to your company and your financials, because in the end, you need to be able to articulate what your marketing strategy is going to be for your business and how you plan to make money over time. So that's what this webinar is going to be about. So I have a lot to cover. So I'm just going to really jump on in it. And I see some people jumping on. Hey, Damon, how you doing again? What's hot these days? Let me tell you something, man. It is hot in these streets. I'm telling you, it's hot in these streets. This is no joke out there. I think I got from work today, and my car thermometer said that it was 102 in my car. And I swear for goodness that I was going to melt before I even get down the street. So yes, it's like raining one day, and then it's like blasting hot the next day. So hopefully you guys are getting AC just like I'm getting AC, and that you're not like melting out there. So, hey, Miguel, how you doing? So, okay, so as people start to jump on here and everything, thank you for the love. Thank you for the likes. Please share this thing and, encourage me to keep doing this stuff, because I'm trying to, give my all and everything to you guys. And I really appreciate everybody who is joining in and watching the playback. Hey there, Miss Jersey Peach. That's my girl, Aquila there. Invited some other people to join. So I taught this lesson in one of my courses for my women's business strategy course, and I thought that this will be a great way to do a webinar here in the group, because even for myself, I have to keep up with my own marketing strategies. And so one of the things that I'm going to be doing in 2019 is that I am going to be revamping my marketing strategy and how I'm going to be just overall trying to see my target market and how I can reach a different audience. And so part of this is also for myself, in addition to those who are in the class. So hopefully you guys can take away some of this stuff or catch the playback. If you have any questions, please feel free to drop it below, and I will answer your question and everything so that I can, make sure that I stay in tune. So please communicate with me. Let me know if I'm going too fast or anything like that. And for those who are in my class, they get to hear it again, which is good because this is part of the marketing plan that they are working on right now. And this is a great way to share. So I'm just going to get right into it, right? So today we're going to be talking about market analysis and strategies that are used when you are trying to develop your business plan, and also how you're going to be marketing your own products and services on your business as a brand as a whole, okay? So the first thing I want to get into is the definition of what a market analysis is. A market analysis is not really about you per se. It's about everybody else and how they are marketing their services, their products, how they're advertising on TV, social media, email marketing, phones, what have you, and how they are affecting your ability to do business in comparison and being competitive with them. Okay. So again, this is about not you per se, but it's about everybody else and how they are marketing their business and everything. And you're looking at it from an analysis perspective as to how it affects you as a small business owner and how you can be just as competitive and everything. So the first thing you want to do when you are doing a market analysis for your business plan is that you want to do a segmentation of the different types of audiences that you have out there in your industry. So the first thing you want to do is you want to create a segmentation, which is going to break them down into different demographics. You're going to be breaking them down based on need, priorities, interests, different type of psychographic and behavior analysis. You're going to be breaking them down. So for example, if you are looking for someone in the DMV area and, you're a speaker, or let's say you're author, or maybe even a doctor, and you're just trying to, have your business, you need to know exactly where to find your target. And you can only do that by just going to certain websites like the Department of Bureau of Labor and Statistics. You can go to the Department of Labor main page, and you can also go to the U.S. Census Bureau, because when you go there, you can actually look up your demographics. You can actually see what's going on in your geographic area, and you can actually find out by race and age. You can find out by their needs. You can find out how many people are employed in the same line of work that you're doing. You can find out how many people are unemployed in the same industry that you're doing. Okay, so that is one thing you want to do. So you definitely want to make sure that you find out, can these people that, can the people that you're trying to target, can they afford what you're trying to serve them? So it doesn't matter if it's a book or if it's a cup or whatever, or a t-shirt. Can these people afford what you're offering? And even if whether or not they even want what you're offering, right? So if you're doing all this marketing and sending out flyers, so let's say you're at a mall, some random mall, and you're just sending out flyers to any and everybody, how do you know that these are the people in your area that are going to buy your services? Okay, I did it. I sent out flyers and got no results. Okay, but when I started to segment what I was doing in terms of, the market, I actually was able to reach people much better and more effectively than just sending out flyers and sending out blast emails. So you definitely want to check out and make sure you're getting their age, their education, their income, their family size, their ethnic background. You want to get all of that information there. Okay. So, hey, let me see, just hopping on. Let me see, Chris says, have the present. Okay, you all talk soon. Okay, all right. So the next thing you want to do is you want to look at the psychographics of the demographic that you're looking at. So what is the lifestyle of the people that you've actually segmented? Okay, so you found those folks who are in your area. You found their age, their income, their family size, and all that kind of stuff. Now, What are their lifestyles? What are their personalities like? What are their traits like? How about their opinions and what they think of a product, and how they view that product and service, and how they even use it, right? So you want to find out from a mental and a psychology standpoint, how are they viewing and understanding and have a perspective of the products and services that are in their area. One of the ways you could do that is just take a look at the different stores and different, retailers that are in a specific neighborhood. You can watch and see how they are shopping at these places, whether or not they're gravitating to it or staying away from it. There's so many things you can do. And in this case, the best observation is trade studies, white papers, just general observation when you go to the mall to just kind of check out what people are doing. And then that helps you figure out what their behaviors are. Okay, so your behaviors is very important, because if someone doesn't like what you're selling, a lot of times that word of mouth will go to their friends and their cousins and their family members and everything else, and they will pretty much cause you to lose a client because of what they psychologically think that's going on, and then their behavior. So you definitely want to have those three things to start off when you're doing your market analysis for your business plan, which is your demographics, your psychographics, and your behavior activities of the person who is shopping. So I see somebody had just joined in, so hopefully if you have a question, again, please, put it in the chat window. I will definitely answer any questions that you may have, or you have a question during the playback, definitely do that. We're talking about market analysis and how you do you segment your market so that you can really target the people that you want to target for your business. Okay. The other thing you want to take a note of as well is that you have to look at what technology they use. Are they on the phone all the time? Are they on email? Are they not even on social media? How do you reach them? What technological challenges are you going to face when you're trying to reach your target market? And once you figure that out, then you will be able to come up with a mechanism or a platform or some type of method to reach your audience and get the market out, or get the word out of whatever it is that you're trying to sell to that person. You also want to look at the benefits too. So as you are segmenting your list for your market, you definitely want to make sure that you are listing the benefits that they're going to get when you're trying to provide a service, because a lot of times people, they buy based on looks, colors, how is it going to benefit them, those three things. And then once they make up their mind on those three things, then that's what they're going to be doing, right? So you definitely want to be in tune with making sure you find your demographics. You also want to segment those with psychological behaviors. You want to also divide that market into their buying patterns, which is their behavior activities and how they buy and how they use, right? You also want to break that down even further by geographic locations so that you know how to market to those specific people differently. And then you also want to look at the technology that they're using and what benefits that they are getting when you are trying to market, because otherwise, if you're just throwing stuff out there blind, like I used to do, and wasn't getting like nothing, I was pretty much getting like crickets, right? If you don't sort of do this observation, you're pretty much wasting your time and your money and your effort. You're just wasting a lot of stuff, right? So, and we don't want you to do that. So that's why I share this information, because this is what I learned in my experience. And so I want to share that with you. So that's number one. So I will be probably try to get some notes posted into the group for those who join so that they can follow up with this information for their business plan. Okay, so the next thing you want to do is you need to understand the power of the customer, okay? So we all say the customer is right. However, this is the most important thing that we tend to forget all the time, right? The customer creates the market. Okay, and I'll say that again. The customer creates the market. Just like when we have the buying power of someone who wants to buy a home, we always say, oh, it's a buyer's market. Or if we want to say it's a seller's market, it's the same thing in a retail store or online customer. That customer has needs and has wants and desires. And so those needs, wants, and desires are the ones that drive people to buy what they buy. So they create the market. So if the demand of what you're offering is not there, you need to figure out what that problem is. As I talked about in the other thing about business concepts, if you missed that one, please go back and watch that webinar on my YouTube channel where we talked about business concept. You have to be able to solve a problem that a customer wants, so that way they have that need, want, and desire for your service. Okay, so here are the 5 things that you need to be aware of in this sense. Okay, so but before I do that, maybe somebody could put in the chat window, say customer creates the market, and just put that in there in the chat window so that we can remind folks in this video that the customer creates the market. So here are 5 things that you need to be very, very mindful of when you're writing your business plan and to include in your business plan. One, again, like I said, is the buying power. How much power do they have over the market in which your product and service can effectively be competitive with, so that you're not losing money, but you're also being effectively competitive with someone else. Okay, so what is the buying power of the people that you're trying to sell to? The second thing you want to get a note on is the threat of conventional competitors. Okay, now these are competitors who are sort of similar to what you're doing. However, they have 1 or 2 little tweaks that they're doing to make it just that much conventional for the buyer to say, you know what, it is much more practical to go over here than go over there because of something on your website, or maybe some jargon, some content that you have. Maybe you didn't market to them correctly. Maybe there was something in your newsletter and they say, you know what, it's just not practical for me. It's not conventional enough for me. I think I'm going to go to this other retailer over here and buy their product instead, right? That is a surefire way to lose a customer, and you will never even know that you lost a customer, because that's pretty much what's going to happen, right? The third thing is not having enough resources to fulfill what you want to do. One of the most important pieces that you're going to be putting into your business plan is that you have to have your resources, and you have to know how you're going to fulfill the deliverables, okay? Your resources, like your pens, your paper, your laptop, your booklets, your tools, your applications, any technology that you're using to, to bring up or to develop your product and services. And then you also have to feel like, okay, how am I going to fulfill all of these orders? Do I have to hire someone? Do I have to come up with some type of mechanism or method? So the supplier power, if another competitor comes into your neighborhood and they have more resources than you, then that could be a threat to your business. And you need to know which area, which geographical area will they be putting themselves into, because I guarantee you these folks are doing their homework before they actually open shop in the neighborhood. They're literally going through and they segmenting, just like I said in that first part, they're segmenting their business, and they are figuring out who is buying what and how and who has the power, and then they decide where they're going to put their business. So you definitely have to be mindful of the supplier power, because those are the business that can come in and pretty much wipe you out simply because they don't have enough resources. Okay, and this is when you need to really know your business and be able to adapt so that you can quickly bounce back and be just as competitive, because even though there's enough work for everybody, you still have competitors. Okay, so now there's another one. Here's number 4. Number 4 is the threat of a substitute. Okay, so these are competitors that come into the neighborhood and say, you know what, instead of going to Sally Joe's, boutique over here, why don't you come over here and we can hook you up online and you never have to shop again. We'll substitute all that work that you're trying to do to buy this product, and we're going to give you a substitute. Okay. This is another threat that you have to look out for when you are trying to run a business. And also you need to know who is doing this stuff prior to starting your business when you're writing your plan, because this arms you on how you can make yourself unique enough to say, no matter who comes into the neighborhood, whether it be supplier power, or maybe they're conventional, or maybe they're a substitute, you can still function and thrive as a business. Okay. The other thing that you could do is that you could new entries. Okay, so you have other organizations from other states. Okay, they go around and they say, you know what, I think I want to go into a different state, and then they go through that first section as I talked about, and then they determine where they want to do it. Now you have a new business that's coming in with maybe the substitute services. They may have a combination of buyer power. They may have some kind of hybrid going on because they're new to your neighborhood, especially if you've been in that neighborhood for a while and your customers know you and you have relationships and trust. Now, all of a sudden, you have a new person coming to the neighborhood and you potentially might lose some of those customers. So again, back to your business plan, if you're writing your business plan, it's a living document so that you know how to really go back and function and say, oh, you know what, I think I can swing my products a different way or do something a different way, because it's going to keep you focused and keep your business alive. So that is really, really important. So does anybody have any questions for, any of that stuff right there? Just want to make sure that, people can gather what I'm saying or anything like that. Hey, Judah, that's right. Customer create the market. Okay. All right. So here's the strategy pyramid. Now, strategy pyramid is when you want to take, and this is how you use the tactics. So this is tactic number one, because remember, we're going to talk about marketing tactics. Okay. So this is how you would do your tactics for any products and services that you have going on. So the first thing you want to do is make a visual representation of just one goal. So on a piece of paper, what you're going to do, and I'm going to post this image into the thing so that people can have this pyramid that I'm going to share. I shared this in the class. Is a lot of times we don't know the what, the objective, and how, right? So the pyramid is designed for us to take one service, one product, or whatever, one of something, and we're going to break it down into the marketing goals. What is your end goal? What is your actual strategy? And what is your tactic in doing it? Okay, so the triangle would sort of look like this. You would draw a triangle. The first part of the triangle is going to be your marketing goal. So you would take your products and you would say, okay, what is my ultimate goal? Okay, so my ultimate goal right now is to teach small businesses how to do their marketing. So I'm just going to use that as an example. Okay, the middle part of the triangle is going to be split in half, and you're going to have strategy number one, and then you're going to have strategy number two. Okay, your strategy is going to be, what are you going to do and what is your objective? Okay, so, and then the last part, you're going to have two tactics for each strategy. So I'm going to give you an example of how this is going to work out. And I use the same analogy in class. Okay, so James Bond, okay, everybody knows James Bond. James Bond has a goal. His goal is to break into the bad guy's facility to steal a diamond. That is his goal. Okay, what he does with the diamond, we don't care, right? His strategy is to infiltrate the facility, get with the girl, and then have her tell him where the diamond is so that he can go get it, steal it, and come on out. Okay, that is his strategy. Okay, now, how is he going to do that, right? So strategy number one would be infiltrate the building. Okay, that's the first thing he has to do before he even gets in it. He has to be able to break in. Okay, tactic number one, he can either fly in and come from behind, or he can find a tunnel and go underneath. And we've seen him jump into the water with the snorkel on, and next thing you know, he's in the building underwater. Okay, so that's tactic number one. Tactic number two is to actually sneak into the facility so that he can get to the girl. Okay, so as you can see, going from the goal, you have a strategy, and then you have two tactics under there. And so in your triangle, you're going to have a goal, you're going to have two strategies, and you're going to have four tactics. And the reason why you want to break it down that way because each of these strategies are going to have multiple strategies and multiple tactics, and it's going to force you to really think about how are you really tackling, trying to get to your target market. Okay, so let's say you're having a workshop or a speaking engagement, and you need to get speakers or you need to get sponsors. So someone asked me earlier, about getting sponsors. I think there's a little fly in here. Okay, so one of the strategies you want to do is you want to, like we did in the workshop that Lori Mans had this week, and I think I could use her perfect example. You definitely want to do the same thing. You want to segment who your target market is. So if you're looking for a sponsor, you're looking for vendors, you're looking for somebody for your event, the first thing you want to do is you want to scout out different places where they hang out. So you might want to join some groups. You might want to find out what areas they go to, what networking events they go to. You definitely want to check all of that stuff out, right? Once you figure out where they are, then you can actually set up a goal. Okay, I want to have this organization as my sponsor or to come to my event. So that is your ultimate goal. What is your strategy? How are you going to get their attention, right? So your strategy might be, okay, find out what event they're going to go to, attend the event, and then attempt to meet them. Okay, now that's your strategy. Now, what is your tactic? How are you going to do that? How are you going to get yourself invited? That's when you say, okay, I'm going to find out if I can afford a ticket. Then I'm going to travel there. I'm going to meet some people, and then I'm going to try to gravitate to that organization or representative of that organization and introduce myself. And then hopefully I will get a business card so that I can talk to them. Now, once you come down to that end of that tactic, you now have a new strategy again on how you're going to make that relationship work until you get to the goal that you're trying to get to. And I hope that made sense with the pyramid. So you definitely want to have that pyramid so that you can work out your strategies and stuff for your business plan. Okay, so and I will post this this pyramid into the group so that whoever watches the playback will be able to have that as well. Okay, so I'm just going to cover a couple more things here if nobody has any questions here. Thank you for people who are joining out right now. Okay, so in a nutshell, your strategy gives you a goal and a path to follow. Okay, if that makes sense. That's what the whole pyramid is all about, to give you a strategy and a path so that you can get to the end of your goal. It makes it easier to figure out how you're going to be able to get to your clients and all that. And so basically goal, and so you put the three together and it makes it actually a nice little equation, right? So it's goal plus strategy plus tactics equals a concrete marketing plan. Okay, goal plus strategies plus tactics equals a e-commerce. You could do e-commerce with this too. It equals a concrete marketing strategy because again, it forces you to be able to look at how you're going to be doing it, and then you have a path to follow. You have a guideline. You're not just shooting at the hip. You know exactly how you're going to strategize to get what you're trying to get as far as your products and services. The other thing I want to touch on that's really important too is that you want to be purposeful with any action that you take for your strategies and your tactics. Okay, so anytime that you implement something, send an email out, make a call, it has to have a purpose. Okay, you can't just put stuff out there and it doesn't mean anything. You have to have a purpose with each and everything. So I'm definitely going to post this here in the chat window so that everybody can see it here. You need to be purposeful in each action, because otherwise you're pretty much wasting your time and money and everything. Okay, so if anybody have any questions, I'll be happy to ask that. If not, I will go into value proposition, because this is how you add your value into your products and services that you can put on paper for your business plan, okay? And again, a business plan is a living document that you use to help, not only help you keep focus on your own business, but you can also use this as a marketing tool. You can also use it to get funding for your business. It just needs to be clear and understandable what it is that your business does. And the marketing plan helps the funder understand how you're going to market so that you can make money for your business and be able to pay them back. So this is really important information. So if you can share this video, that'd be great. Or invite people to come watch this video. Okay, so I didn't see any questions, so I'm gonna move on to the next part. Okay, value proposition. Okay, value proposition is a promise of a value to be delivered to a customer, okay? So value proposition is when you promise a specific value to be delivered to a customer, okay? It is the reason why someone wants to buy from you, okay? So when you have a value proposition, you're basically not only telling them what the value is, but you're also telling them the benefits as well. It should be the first thing that people see on your website. When they come to your website, they should clearly understand what you do, how you do it, and what value is going to bring to them to solve their problem, okay? You need to hit those three things within the first 3 seconds of your website, because if you don't do that, they're going to just turn away, okay? If you have those three, even if they're not like your ideal customer, they'll at least hang around on your website and kind of peruse around and see what's on your website to make, so they can have it for future reference. But your ideal customer will get it with like 3 seconds. I mean, if you think about how many times you went to a website, if it didn't load in time, if it didn't like tell you exactly, what you do, you pretty much lost the customer, and there's no way in the world that you will know who came to your page. There's no way you will find out, right? So it has to be the first thing that is on your webpage, your homepage, your brochures, your flyers, anything that you're doing. It needs to be absolutely clear of what value you are promising. And promise means very consistent. Like, what are you actually giving me? And when the person get it, they're like, you know what, that's exactly what I wanted, right? Okay, so what makes a good value proposition? Okay, clarity, I pretty much said that. Okay, it communicates, when you communicate your value in a concrete way, you are really telling the customer that your value is supreme, that your value is something that they can bank their dollars on every single time. When they come to you, they know what they're going to get. They know they're not going to get dissatisfied at all. Their money is going to be well spent, and they will actually tell their friends and family about you, okay? It also talks about how different you are as a competitor. It also makes them want to gravitate you, because remember I said earlier about the substitute and also about the new entry and all that. If you are consistent every single time in your value, and then you give them more than what they expected on top, they're going to always prefer you over your competitor, okay? Because they're going to always say, I got instant gratification. This person has got me that stuff like right away. Oh my goodness, she was so good to me. I'm going to go to her every single time. That's customer service. That's definitely how you display your value. Anybody that works with me, they get the same top level of work. They get the top level of whatever it is that I'm offering, even in this webinar, because that is my promise of value that I deliver to my customers. So you definitely want to have that, right? The other thing you want to do is you want to avoid the hype words like never seen before. You want to all the stuff, value added interactions. You want to avoid all that stuff, because basically if you have if you have your stuff on your website in a very clear, concise manner, that speaks louder than trying to use marketing jargon to add to what you have, okay? And again, you have to have that thing within 3 seconds. That's really the value proposition right there in a nutshell. And if anybody would like to have, again, those slides just to kind of reinforce, just send me a direct message and I will send you, a couple of the slides right here that's most interested in what you're trying to do for your business. Okay, so the last thing I'm going to cover here on here is the competitive advantage, okay? When you're doing small business tactics, Another thing you want to do is make sure that you outline in your plan what is your competitive advantage over another competitor. And generally it can be done in like it can be done in a table where you can say, okay, here's my advantage and here's how I plan to execute that advantage. You don't have to do like a huge paragraph, although you can do some explanation and that will be good, but you also want to put it in a table format so that the reader can easily say, okay, this person is first to market this information and they're going to use their competitive advantage of going out and having a unique product that nobody had before, okay? So you want to have that in a table so that people can actually see that. And you also want to add like how long is the service, if it's like a specific timeline. You also want to cover like any other type of business service that would potentially grow into something else in the future, which will also be a competitive advantage for your business, okay? So you definitely want to have those few things incorporated in that. Okay. Now, one of the other things you're going to need for your competitive analysis for your business plan is you have to stock them pretty much. Okay. I do that. I'm a stalker. I'm sorry. I just sit back and look. I look sometimes. I'm a stalker only because there are certain sponsors, there are certain organizations that I would love to work with. And so what I usually do is I usually go out there and learn as much as I can, much as I can for that organization. I go to their websites, I read their mission, vision, and goals. I check out who their leaders are. If they have a physical presence, I may, depending on who it is, I may go down there and visit where they are, take a look at their offices, check out the culture, talk to their clients. You can even go to their trade shows. You definitely want to see what is your competitors, your main competitors doing that you're not doing, okay? Now, I'm not just stalking them because, I just want to stalk them. I want to know what are they doing and what am I doing and what are they not doing, okay? So if they're not doing a certain thing and we're doing I'm going to find out what can I provide that they're not providing that will make me unique. So anytime my competitor is offering something, I'm going to say, you know what, they're offering this is good. We both offer this, but they're not doing this, okay? And that's what makes you stand out because they will remember you more because you're offering something that is more competitive and more advantageous than the other person. So when you stalk these people, you're not just like stalking them. You're just really finding out what your competitive analysis would be to them. And so that will also help you write your competitive essay because they want you to, in your business plan, they want to see how did you do your research on these people? How do you compare to this other organization and what are you bringing to the table as to why you want $250,000 to fund your business, okay? Nobody's going to fund your business if you do not outline this stuff in your plan, okay? And so you definitely want to take away some homework for yourself. I offer this for the ladies in the class too, which we're working on, is the first thing you want to do is you definitely want to write down your tactics, your goals, your strategies. What is it that you're doing? I'm pretty sure that people who are here in my group have businesses, but when was the last time that you actually took the time to do the pyramid and actually worked out your strategy and your tactics, okay? When was the last time that you actually did a geographic segmentation of your audience? When was the last time that you looked at who is in comparison to your business and how competitive you are with each other? This is something that every small business, especially if you're a micro business or a small business person, you definitely have to do that because it is already hard enough to be a small business. And if we're not like taking the time to do this type of work, you're going to fail within the first couple of weeks, or not couple of weeks, a couple of years, because time is going to go by, technology is going to go by, the advancement and the need, remember I told you the customers, the need from the masses is going to change and you're not going to be able to keep up, right? So if maybe once a quarter, maybe every, semi-annual, take a look at everything you're doing for your business and see where you need to adjust, okay? So that's what you want to do when you're doing marketing tactics and all that kind of stuff. This is a great way for you to really understand your business and how it's changing. So this is pretty much what I had as far as the overview for the marketing strategies and tactics. I could share some of my other tactics that I use for myself. Is that I love to sit back and observe a lot. You know, I sit back and I watch the behaviors, especially from those from a social media perspective, because the majority of my clients are from social media and from networking events. So for me, my tactics is really just monitoring the behaviors of posts, what they post, who responds, how they respond, you know, because outside of that, I wouldn't know what resources I had, you know, in my groups or other places. And then it also gives me a chance to say, hey, you know, I have something that you might need for your business. How can I help you, right? So it's a two-way street. And remember, if you didn't catch my video about opportunities, you definitely need to catch that, because I was talking about how these opportunities can come around and you don't even see them coming because you're not looking for them, or you're just not recognizing them. And so I've learned to recognize potential opportunities, and if there are ones that are out there that may not be for me, I try to keep those things alive in case something does come up and we end up working together. And so definitely check out my other video when we're talking about opportunities. If you can't find it here on Facebook, please go to my YouTube channel and subscribe. I really would love to see you guys out there as well. I'm trying to upload these videos there. And I will be doing a whole lot more webinars like this as time goes on. Also, please be mindful that Melvin Lars, who is an author, is going to be coming on here on the 30th of this month, and he's going to be talking about authorship. He's going to be talking about how you do a book from his perspective. How do you do a book signing? All that kind of stuff that authors have been asking about. I know Leroy did one, but we're going to have Melvin Lars because he actually has a online article. He also wrote a number of books, and we'd love to have him on here. Also, I think a couple other people, Judith Hall, she wants to do a Facebook Live on here on BMWOC to talk about her new book, When the Sky's the Limit. When the Sky is No Limit, and also her new book that she's working on, which I'll let her tell you that. We're going to be having Judith Hall on this platform to talk about her stuff. And then, of course, we have so many different opportunities for people to post their business tips and thoughts and anything that you feel like that would be beneficial to you. So I don't have anything. Okay, just hopping on. Good evening. How you doing, Marianne? I hope you can catch the playback, because I shared a lot of good information for small business strategy. So make sure you check that out and send me your questions and things like that. And again, I'm open for anybody else who would love to do a Facebook Live to present a topic, a business topic. We will be doing more of these things and streamlining the process in the group so that it benefits everybody. And would love to communicate with those folks that would love to share that information with people. And of course, you already know, I'm looking for the sexy and successful, okay? I'm looking for those who love to show off their business sexy side and then tell me about how successful you are so we can get you in to the last issue of 2018, which is the Businessmen and Women of Color magazine. Come on, y'all. $75 is not a lot of money, especially for an article or ad. You know, it's like several $100s, sometimes $1,000, depending on what it is. But here's the thing. I really am trying to promote our folks to really show off. I mean, if you have like, I want you guys to get dressed up, right? I want you guys to get dressed up, okay? Show me your sexy side and then tell me how you are successful so we can promote your business and get you out there and get awareness for what you do. And that is a great way to kick off the end of the year, not to mention the podcast is coming around again. So, you know, it's just going to go on and on and on, and you get global exposure. So, you know, hey, jump on that. Also, if you know some veterans that would love to come out for the Veterans Biz Up, we are a week away from the Veterans Biz Up. And let me tell you something. I have gotten a lot of registrations, so I would love to see you guys there. Also, Anyone is interested in signing up for the Small Business Strategy course, please let me know. It's going to start in September, and I'm thinking about offering some virtual sessions. Hey, JC, how you doing, Joan? Hey, can I show off all the way from now? We can. Yes, you can, girlfriend, Marianne. All you have to do is look, we're going to talk on the thing. There's a way you could be in here because I need people from all over the world to show their sexy side. Come on now. I know everybody loves doing selfies and all this kind of stuff. So I want us to have fun for this last issue. And we really am looking for people who want to support this magazine and keep it alive for the small business owner. So come on now. We got to do this, right? I have a bomb person for the cover. Is going to be a female. She's already hooking up her photo for the sexy and successful. So I need you guys to be in the magazine and show off. Okay, I need people to show off. Did you see the men's magazine? Okay, did you see it? The man was sexy. Okay, he was sexy and successful. I need some of that in the. I need some of that more of that magazine in the last issue. And if you haven't seen it, please go out to my website. I'll post that here as well. But I hope you guys enjoyed the webinar per se for the marketing strategies, because it's really important for us to be able to stay alive as a small business. And so my mission on the mountaintop, okay, is to scream this information out to as many people as possible, because I'm a small business. I know how hard it is for me to stay in business. And so my mission, my assignment that the Lord has given me is to use my voice to speak upon this stuff to you and get the message out to those it matters to. So please make sure you like and share. And thank you all so much for joining this webinar tonight. I'm going to get off of here because I got a whole lot more to do. And I will be back on here toward the end of the week, probably with another tip and to close out the week. And I hope everybody have a very, very blessed and good night.